I mean, I think it is always a song and a dance. I feel that one of the things that we try and do is think about not how we present to the client, but how we think about the client's customers and their experience of the brand. And then we try to, whenever we can, present the work so it's almost going through it from a customer's perspective. And therefore it's not about showing the client the logo first. It might be showing them the smallest piece of communication that they might see before they even get to a gallery, and then some posters, and then as they get closer they might see a whole identity or a whole logo on a building. And then we end up not having to have the conversation about why the logo looks the way it does, because they've gone through it from the eye of the consumer or of the eye of the customer, and they've actually work through how the customer engages with their brand. It allows us to have conversations more about the experience and not the craft. And then you can get away with more from a craft perspective because they're not focusing on the craft, they're focusing on the journey that the customer will go through. I mean, that works sometimes. It's worked for us in a way that allows it to be more strategic. So we can say, remember the strategy was all about, X, Y, Z. And so for us to be able to design to that strategy, then we're not or that thinking, we're not actually giving away any of the elements of the making. And of course, clients want to know the making, but we'll do that in the next stage, and then they're really invested in the making. But in the beginning stages, I feel like there's almost so much anxiety when you go to present. You've kind of got to present it in a way that they feel is an experience versus seeing a whole identity, because they can't comprehend that usually in the beginning. It works for an identity. It's really hard if you're doing a publication or a website, because you really need to show them it at the beginning, and the cover's always such a big part of that decision. But when it's an identity, I think unpacking it in a way where the consumer journey is the most important, I think has worked for us.